On the bench today is a guitar I bought for myself, a Harley Benton R457 BK fan fret 7-string. The frets are all very well seated and level, with no buzzes anywhere, and the back of the neck is a silky smooth satin finish that feels just perfect. The string spacing at the nut is a little cramped. You can tell by how far away the high E string is from the bevel of the fret. Wider string spacing would make this a lot more playable, though it's still quite good for an off-the-shelf guitar. I'll be making my own bone nut to get the string spacing perfect, but I do this on all my guitars, so no complaint here. As for the action at the nut, the strings are pretty high, except for the high B string. From the low B to the high E string, they measure 29 thousandths, 27, 26, 22, 32, 16, and 25. Plenty of room to come down to a more comfortable height. The action, open at the 12th fret, is a bit high. A little over 70 thousandths, or 4.564ths on the bass side, and a little over 60 thousandths, or 4/64ths on the treble side. Capoing the first fret and holding the D string down at the last fret with my left hand, I can use a digital action gauge with my right hand to measure the neck relief. It reads 9 thousandths. A little more tension on the truss rod will get that down 4 or 5 thousandths and make it a lot more comfortable. The neck screws are threading tightly into the body. You can see all the wood dust left behind just from backing the screws out, so I'll clear the holes with a slightly oversized drill bit. This guarantees a tight fit for the most wood-to-wood contact possible, enhancing sustain and resonance. Even from a purely mechanical perspective, clearance holes are essential for all woodworking joints held together by screws, and guitar neck joints are no exception. Putting the ferrules back into the neck pocket and waxing the neck screws, I'll reattach the neck. The frets are gritty, so I'll polish them out before taking this to my room to test it. So one of the first things I noticed is that this body is very light, and it balances very, very well. It's not top heavy at all, way lighter than I expected it to be, and I've just come to be a much bigger fan of lighter guitars as time goes on. So that's much appreciated. And there's the other thing. The extended scale length on the lower strings on this is crazy. I am not used to guitars intonating well in the lower register. I mean, it's incredible. And the added tension you get from the longer scale gives it this piano-like ring to it. You can listen to that. I mean, wow, that is really... It's just a real pleasure to play. It really is. It sounds great. The multi-scale is just so cool. The fan frets look awesome. And by the way, I noticed there are no fret tangs on the ends here. So they actually cut the tangs on the frets as if it were a bound neck, which gives it a great feel. No sharp edges at all, which is very, very surprising, especially on a guitar this cheap. Many more expensive guitars I've played, the fret ends are terrible. Practically cutting into your fingers until they bleed. So I was not expecting the ends to be that round. They were gritty, as I mentioned earlier. I had to polish them out, so that was a little bit of an issue, but pretty par for the course for the setup. Cleared the holes in the neck pocket, had to lower the nut slots a bit, had to lower the saddles a little bit and set the intonation. Had to put a little bit more tension on the truss rod, but all in all, I mean, you have to do that on pretty much any guitar. So, I mean, this is just crazy for the amount of money that this was. So it also does... I mean, you could do that all day. So the pickups are a little bit muddy. So definitely, I personally would like to hear some more high-end coming from these, but I know most people are probably using them for metal, which it does do very well. But I'd like a little more high-end, so I'm going to make my own 7-string humbuckers for this and see how those do. So overall, I am extremely impressed with this guitar, and not only for the price, just in general, so the fact that it's so affordable is even more insane. So I would highly recommend picking this up if you're in the market for a 7-string. In my opinion, the multi-scale is the way to go. It's just this piano-like ring to the low strings. It feels great. I can't recommend this enough. So as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.